Hi, Janine here, and welcome back to me. It has been 12 days since I last posted, and for my wonderful loyal subbies, I'm really sorry. And for those of you that are new, I'm Janine Creason. I'm a board certified behavior analyst, and I'm also a Washington State licensed K-8 teacher. Also a little out of breath because I walked up a mini hill and I'm out of shape, but we're working on that. And I'm also a special educator in the state of Washington. As a board certified behavior analyst, I help my clients with behavior change. And one of my missions this year for my own self is to become a master of self-behavior change. So every day, at least 5 days a week, sometimes 6 or 7, I help my clients change their behaviors based upon a certain set of goals that we would have that would be put into a treatment plan. And I would teach individuals surrounding that person how to support my patient and how to help them change their behavior. Sorry, stumbling over my words for a second there. Don't have a teleprompter. Winging this. So, I have all these daydreams about who I could be, and I just began to feel like it's so elusive, this fantasy self that I have in mind, because I hadn't mastered self-behavior change. And then you begin to feel, let's just take that back, roll that back. I began to feel almost like an imposter, because if I can't change my behavior following the research of applied behavioral analysis, remembering I'm a board certified behavior analyst, then what the heck? How can I propose to present myself to the world as a board certified behavior analyst, which I am as of this date? Like, if you're watching this 10 years later, maybe I will be a professor at some university, a daydream of mine, and be doing something different. So I don't want to misrepresent myself, but this big idea is, let me show to myself and make it public that the science of behavior change, not only can I help my clients with this science, back it up, but also it's something that I can do for myself. And so here I am. I don't know, like, I'm starting month 3. So July, I posted my 31-day challenge, and I was very successful in meeting 80% of each target that I had. So I'll explain that in a little bit as we look at my September goals. And yeah, there's people that will say, Mel Robbins did a podcast, for example, recently, and she was explaining that, one should only work on 1 to 3 goals at a time. So I might argue differently. In fact, I would argue differently, because in my world and everyday practice, we work on many goals, many targets. But this is what we don't do. We don't make the behavior change so big that it's super uncomfortable. For example, if you were trying to increase your steps every day as tracked by maybe your Fitbit or an Apple Watch, you wouldn't go from 5,000 steps a day to 10,000 steps a day, because you would have to direct all of your energy and even time, especially if you have a job that's sitting, to that goal. So rather, we might say we're going to improve our steps per day by 500, by 1,000. And you will find change is a lot more comfortable when we break a bigger goal, which could be Janine will increase her steps such that it was on the average of 5,000 a day for the last 6 months to 10,000 a day. And then we would give our deadline for our goal. So it's really important to give a deadline. That's why I did the 31-day challenge, as my deadline was in 31 days that I would make 80% of that target. So such that 80% would be like 8 out of 10 days. So 2 days out of that 10-day period, I wouldn't need to cross it off my list. Now, if you've read Atomic Habits, which I highly recommend, they recommend not breaking the behavior chain. So, oh my God, I'm going up a hill. Such that if you're walking every day and then you stop one day, then you might not want to do it the next day. But here's what happens when you break that goal down, is you're more likely to be able to skip a day and get started back up, because you haven't moved too far from the behavior you already had. And it's very important to be able to skip a day or 2 days and get back on track. And actually, we should welcome the opportunity to start and stop a behavior based upon today's circumstances. So, as some of you know, and I'm telling you if you're new here, I have attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADHD. I'm neuroatypical, and it is said and been researched that we have a difference in executive functioning skills. So I have to intentionally practice executive functioning skills. For example, I have to practice planning. That's why my planners are so important to my daily behavior. And another executive functioning skill is prioritizing. So for example, if one day I don't make my target, which next month, wake up early is one of my targets. The reason is because I'm more productive when I wake up in the morning. And there's always something more I want to accomplish before I drive off to work, which I work in a school setting 5 days a week. So I've noticed that between 10:30 p.m. at night and midnight, maybe I'm doing my planners, very common, but honestly, I'm taking so long, and the next morning I really have a hard time waking up in the morning, and there's all these things that I want to accomplish in transitioning because I've added new behaviors like pack a lunch. Check that off my list, guys. So as well as clean the kitchen up before it goes. So if I was to wake up late one morning, all is not lost. I'm looking to meet that 80%, which in the research shows that we've got this range of success. 80% or better to say we're successful in this goal attainment. Then the next step is to really be able to reinforce the stop and start of a behavior. So let's become masters of, just because I didn't do it today, it doesn't mean I won't do it tomorrow. And in fact, I can trust that if I have the time tomorrow, I will demonstrate that behavior again. And I have confidence in that. And I don't have to do something every day in order to have it be a new habit. So now let's go back to the prioritization of your goals. So remembering that I was talking about waking up early. If I didn't wake up early, instead of walking for 45 minutes, I would forego that walk. Maybe I'd do it that evening, or maybe I wouldn't do it that day. And I would prioritize packing a lunch so that I don't need to order food from Starbucks. So, just to mention, in the month of July, I was definitely month of July. And before that, I would order from Starbucks any morning I wanted, a breakfast and a lunch. It was costing me about $22.96, something like that, every day that I went. So the Starbucks habit was costing me like $400 a month. Now what you're gonna find as I share my budget by paycheck information, exercise ring closed, you will see that I only went to Starbucks once this month of August 2024, if you're watching this later. And I did it, which there's no explanation in my checkbook register. I did it because my mom unexpectedly took a turn for the worse, and I was going to help her transition to heaven, because that's what my belief system is, that she's going to go to heaven after she transitions from this life to the next. And I wanted to have food on hand and not end up getting hungry at the home that had become her home. It's an adult family care home. So I am using my frontal cortex to make a decision and override the rule of not dining out. I also did, so I think that food haul was like $52.87. And honestly, I didn't get a lot of food, but I got some treats and I got a couple of healthy choices. Although Starbucks as a rule, it's not that healthy, but you know, but some things that would help me to be comfortable in this situation and kind of reward myself. So yeah, you say reward yourself for what? But for being there for my mom in a very difficult time. Yeah, helping someone pass or transition is not that easy. All right, I'm not running, so let this person pass. So yeah, pause here. So again, the main theme here the point that I'm trying to make is that we need to have the ability to be flexible with our schedule to do what makes sense at the time that it makes sense. And that's what ADHD people like me, or people who have ADHD, let's correct that, struggle with prioritizing. So I want you to know, as we go on this journey together, and I invite you to join me in this journey of behavior change. And in this next month, I'm going to start doing mini lessons of the different research-based interventions that I use to change my behaviors. Now, in no way am I promising any results, or I'm not your therapist, but I can share and educate these tools because that's what I am. I'm a teacher. And you know what? In the end, there could be a reason why I'm here for you, right? I mean, in the beginning, I was looking for support for my behavior change journey. But honestly, in the last couple of months, I feel so much more confident about my ability to change my behavior. The smallest of behaviors that actually have made a big difference. So as we change the setting from my walk setting, and we've had this little chat here, I'm, in a few moments here, going to bring you along with me and review the month of August 2024, the changes that I made, mind you, without behavior habit trackers. But I'm adding that piece back in September. So last month I lost my mom, and I just kept up with my personal Hobonichi. I didn't do the health one, although I've lost 8 pounds. So, and that was the goal of that planner. So, you know, like, we do what makes sense. All the little habits that I had established in the month of July 2024 have benefited me in August 2024. So I actually brought them along, which means they kind of became habits. Now, did I do those habits every single day? No, but did I do them on average more than 80% of the days of the month? Yes. I don't even, without a question, I don't even have to track that. They became a part of who I am, and my identity as of today kind of has changed from the person who, you know, I thought of myself as a person who would get stuck so easily, stuck on the couch. So maybe if I needed to do dishes, or I needed to do my medical billing, like I literally felt the weight of my body sinking into this very comfortable Crate and Barrel couch, which I got off of Craigslist many years ago for $300. And I just would feel like these weights were pushing me into this comfortable couch, and I just couldn't get up and transition. And that is not true. I am so excited to report to you that today that I am transitioning so much more easily from one task to another, important tasks like the budget by paycheck. So let's do that next. And if you're new here, I'm inviting you to join me. I think that there is something that I can offer you in this next month, and we're going to call it a 30-day challenge. Start thinking about it. What are at least 3 habits that you would like to acquire in this month, in this next month. And maybe you're seeing this in October or November or December. That's okay. Stick with me. Let's do this together. Let me show you how we can achieve our new identity using the science of applied behavior analysis. But remember, I'm not your therapist. And if you need help, I want you to go get it. All right. I love you. If you haven't heard that today, I just want to tell you, I love you. And we are here as a community to support each other. All right. Let's do this. Okay, see you soon.